How would you like to cut your vehicle's fuel expenses and save the earth at the same time? I've been an automotive teacher for the last 10 years, and the last 16 of the years before teaching I was in the automotive field working for Ford Motor Company and General Motors. I've seen technology change with the cell phones, just in specific. We're talking about cell phones. I remember back in the 90s when they were these big bulky packs, and then you had to put the antenna on top of the roof and then it would get reception. And how technology has changed over the years. And what's amazing is that we now use these cell phones to call around the world, stream live video, surf the web, and all in the time from 20 years ago. We now have it so it now fits in your pocket. Well, hybrid vehicles have also changed in the technology world as far as it's allowed it to advance in its engines, its electrical motors, the battery packs, and the power and comfort that you have in a typical car as you have today. Hybrid vehicles are battery powered and also gasoline engine driven vehicles. Hybrid vehicles are capable of saving you money by reducing harmful emissions at the same time coming out of your tailpipe, and to do this with the speed, power, and the comfort of a traditional car as what we know today, for the power and the luxury and everything else that we have. And I know you're asking, how can a hybrid vehicle save me money and the planet at the same time? Well, our planet is overpopulated. Because of the overpopulation, our planet is experiencing what we call global warming. Global warming is something that's coming up in the future and helping, or not helping, but making the climate change and rain, and things that used to be hot is now cold, and things that used to be cold is now hot. In the overpopulation, this is kind of a fact find, did you know that there are over 1 billion vehicles in the world today? And that is worldwide. And at the whole time, it's also growing each time that we, every year, up by 84 million cars a year. Just as a comparison, 84 million cars, we have 121 million babies born a year in the world. So we are pretty comparable to car versus babies. By switching to hybrid cars, we can reduce the amount of emissions put into the air. We can also lower the green gas effects that help slow down global warming, all while saving you money at the pump. So just think, if we can get 50% of the population to buy hybrid vehicles, we would actually reduce the harmful chemicals coming out of the car by 75% over a 5-year period. As of 2013, only 4% of the world's population are driving actual hybrid vehicles, or what we consider hybrid vehicles. Just about everybody knows that Los Angeles, California has their little plaguing problem with the smog, or the great gray ghost that sits over top of the city. If they were to take and make the switch to 50% hybrid vehicles, just 50% of the population driving hybrid vehicles, they would see and experience 75% of emissions, and then they would actually get to see the mountains that's around them and breathe cleaner air. When we make the switch to hybrid vehicles, we would also reduce the dependency on foreign oil. And it would also keep the money in the United States. As of 2013, we buy nearly 80% of our oil from foreign countries. We sit on an oil supply currently that is 4 times larger than Saudi Arabia, and it's typically under Kansas City, or under Kansas itself, and still some left in Texas, and there are now with the fracking and everything that's coming out with natural gas. One of our great fears for our nation is that we will burn up or use the world's supply of oil quickly, and this is why a lot of the electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles are now coming into play and trying to get people to move that and educate people in the proper way for that. Here are some short-term reasons of why you should buy a hybrid vehicle. The greatest aspect, or the greatest positive aspect about owning a hybrid vehicle, is they get great gas mileage and reduce the amount of money that you spend at the pump. The average hybrid vehicle gets roughly 50 miles per gallon, and the average non-hybrid, or gas guzzling, gas sucker, whatever you want to call it, gets around 25 miles per gallon. Now if we look at this in a 1,000-mile trip, so if I would take a 1,000-mile trip, I would spend, on average, let's say it's $3 a gallon for fuel. It would cost me $60 in a hybrid vehicle, while $120 would come out of my pocket in a typical non-hybrid vehicle. If we look at an average 100,000 miles, we are looking at pretty much a lifespan of most people driving is 100,000 miles for a vehicle. You would be looking at $6,000 coming out of your pocket versus $12,000 coming out of your pocket for driving a hybrid vehicle. And the whole time you still have the same comfort features, you're still driving, you're still getting the same miles, you're getting to point A to point B in the same times. So obviously, if you just look at it this way, you do the math. I think hybrid vehicles is the way to go. Hybrid vehicles may be 20% higher when you purchase it up front at a dealership, but ultimately it will save you, or within 100,000 miles, you will get back 30% of that money just in driving. So you recapture all that throughout the lifespan of the vehicle. And we do all of this while we help save the planet and save you money and decrease the dependency on foreign oil. So the conclusions that we come up with today's speech is, as you can see, we have a duty to protect our nature. We also have a duty for our children's children to have resources. We also reduce the dependency on foreign oils, keep some of that money in the good old US of A. Hybrid vehicles will give you more miles for the money. So the initial cost is a little higher, but the overall, you will capture that money back. Kind of an investment. And ultimately, our planet will thank you for less emissions that is emitted, the less oil that is being pulled out of the ground, and I feel that buying a hybrid vehicle would be something that should be considered in your future. Thank you. You can clap. Okay, that was winging it.
Where do we go buy one now? There we go.
Do they make hybrid
SUVs? Yes, they do.
They do?
Yeah, because I like an SUV more.
Oh yeah, I would not get mine up.
Chevy makes a Tahoe now. I think it's going out with this, or with the hybrid. They also have the Cadillac Escalade.
That's a
Oh,
hybrid.
really?
Yeah.
See, I think everybody even thought that, they're just little.
Little boxes.
Little boxes, because when they first came out,
there was a little Honda Insight that looked like.
So, I didn't realize they.
Yeah.
So I actually learned something.
You should have been here for the first one.
You would have learned how they work.
You could have learned the ins and outs of them and who's manufacturing them.
Yeah, I did.
What happens when the battery part of it, you're traveling cross country and you can't?
The engine will recharge the battery as you go.
Well.
Oh.
So it's an assist. So one assists the other.
Because that makes you think, like you pull in and plug it in and sit there waiting and.
Well, that's the Nissan Leaf. That's an all-electric vehicle. So you pull in, plug it in, and then you only have like a 100-mile radius that you can drive, unless you're going to plug in somewhere else.
So can you go buy these off the lot, or do you have to order them?
Well, now you're going to have to order them because they're becoming so popular. But the more popular they get, the more they start building, the more the demand goes higher and higher. So. But I don't know. I kind of like.
So Chevy's the one that's going to come out with the
Tahoe, and they also have the Cadillac Escalade. It's already a hybrid. So Chevy has a truck now. It's hybrid. It's been hybrid for the last.
Like a Jeep size, like a Jeep size.
No, full-size truck.
Full-size.
Well, no, I mean
the Tahoe is bigger than a Jeep.
Tahoe's bigger than a Jeep.
It's like a Suburban.
Yeah.
Does anybody have one around here?
I don't think so.
Do you have one?
No.
You're going to go buy one, right?
No.
Maybe.